Okay, so now let's go into the money and the brand relationships issue. As everybody gets ready, like,
Everyone put their serious faces on. They're like, okay.
it's like, okay,
This time.
let's do this. Okay, one thing before we get into your first. Okay, let's get into your first paycheck. Okay, I gave you guys time to think about it. All right, but firstly, people need to know that you guys didn't actually get into YouTube for the money. Like, you didn't say YouTube is my way to make money. Like,
So, okay, with me, it was, so I did YouTube for 2 years, and then I decided that I'm going to try and do it full time. But I didn't say I was going to do it full time. I was going to move to Joburg and then find a 9 to 5, like editing videos.
In a
'cause
way
that's
that
the
you
skill
could-
that I had.
Yes.
And then I was going to do YouTube on the side, and then when I started getting work, I could perhaps leave that 9 to 5. But then I got to Joburg, and it was like, there was like this hype around YouTubers for a little bit at like the end of 2015, 2016, sorry. And then I got my first job a month after I'd moved here from Standard Bank. I remember, and then there's the whole thing of like rate cards and how much you must get paid. But that brand came with an amount. And I was like, are you sure that's how much I'm supposed to get paid? They're like, I literally called back and I was like, is this the
You
right
sure?
amount? And they were
Yeah.
like, yeah, no, this is what, like, you're definitely worth this much. And I was like, I'll take it. I'm fine. Yeah, give it to me.
Yeah.
Give me all that
Yeah.
money. And then it's very interesting because from that, some brands are like lower, and I'm sure we'll get into that. But
Yeah, yeah.
that was definitely, that was the first job I ever got working for Standard Bank, and I wasn't creating
like
content.
first
I
job
was just-
ever as a YouTuber.
Yeah,
Ever since.
ever since, yeah.
Dog no.
That was the first one.
Serious.
This year, January, yeah.
And you had been YouTubing for how long?
2 years? Yeah, 2 years.
I hope you guys heard that. Like, a lot of people think like in the first month.
Yeah, no, I get a lot of that. People ask me, I just did a job now with Tocha-san and the video came went, and I went on their channel. And I saw
They
they
will not break out
have 200 subscribers. And like in my head, I'm like, unfortunately, you have to create the content first for a while.
Yes.
It's a long-term, and I say this so often, it's a long-term game. Do not think you're going to come into YouTube and earn money. I'm so sorry.
Okay, I think, yeah.
I only got my first paycheck 3 months ago.
You see what I mean? Yeah. Congratulations. What happened? Like, did someone come to you? What happened?
No, well, it was more of like a plug, like please mention this in the video and we will give you this much.
And like, I think, like, especially with what you do, like things like traditional things like product placement and like things like that can actually work quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, we've been trying to, but you know, it's not as easy as people think. These conversations
Yeah.
happen. It's just very strange. It's very new to me because I'm very patient and irritable. So when people
Yeah.
want to come at me funny, I'm like, this is a fucking prank. Like, are you
Like,
good?
yeah.
So I'm sorry, I try not to speak too much
Yeah.
and get people to speak because I'm very, like, I don't like when people want to try and like, I feel like I'm being played with.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
communicate a lot with that.
So I'm just like, man, just give me the cash.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but it's very tricky.
We're gonna get into that about like brands understanding how we work.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, look, for me when I got into YouTube, guys, I got in last year October, my first video, and I think I was fortunate enough to have come in when things started to happen for YouTube. Like I think my timing as well was
That's a big
correct,
thing, yeah.
and then I had a little bit of a following on the other social platforms, so my first paycheck came a little sooner than that. But I think that was because I had been doing work somewhere else before, so it wasn't necessary because I didn't have that many subscribers, but because I was using my other social media platforms, that's how I got paid. But I had a business plan, and in it I literally said revenue for the year 0 for the first year, because I was just like, realistically speaking, and from a point of view of be humble, sit down, like you're gonna make, let's don't go into it thinking that this is my money making scheme, but if you do want to pay me, yes and thank you.
Yeah,
How did you guys, your first paychecks?
Wow, you guys are looking at
We're all like,
Let's start this side.
okay, I'll start. So also it took me about 2 years of actually making the videos before I got my first one. So it was essentially 2 years ago. It was for a car brand, very simple. I felt like I was getting paid to do nothing really.
Is that when you were dancing in the car?
Yeah.
I remember that.
And
It worked. Yeah.
I do feel like I kind of sold out with that a bit, just a little bit. And then this year doing it full time, was I able to build the foundation needed for my YouTube channel and for my brand to work with so many brands this year. I've worked with amazing brands. I've also worked with Standard Bank recently, and that was incredible. And yeah, but it sure takes long.
It takes long to set that foundation.
Guys, it takes so long. I'm warning you, because a lot of
to be
people
patient
they
with
do
the
it. They
content.
think, I'm gonna be famous. I'm gonna make so much money.
I mean, remember I did a talk with influencers at a brand event, and I was telling them that guys, go out and do things for free. Like, go buy the things that you want to use from the brand, use it, and then send it to them, and say, I did something with your brand. Hope you like it. The looks that I got during that talk saying guys do things for free was just like, who?
For what?
So like, so for me, very sooner than I expected as well. I started deciding that my hair's a hair channel last year, July, when I cut my hair. So in February, I was contacted by a brand, and I did a pitch video for them.
This February last.
This February. So it was what, 7-8 months in of doing pure hair, and I didn't even realize I mentioned some things on my videos, obviously products that I use and that kind of thing. So March officially was me submitting the rate card, learning how to do all of those things. And April, even before doing the work, was my first check. So.
And this had been years now that you had actually been on YouTube now. You were consistent for a year.
Yes,
but you had actually started it for a while.
And then my AdSense always had money, if that counts, but I mean that only came out. It was like really was pennies.
Yeah, AdSense is.
AdSense is
We're gonna get to AdSense. And how was your first experience?
I was lucky because I already had a following on my Instagram and Twitter. So when I did start a YouTube channel, the first video was a L'Oreal Infallible Foundation review, which wasn't sponsored. And then shortly after that, L'Oreal actually contacted me like, oh, come to our head office, we really liked your video. There's another brand that we just brought into USA, which is NYX. And I've been working with them since the beginning. When did I get, I think my first paycheck was from them actually. I think it was a meet and greet situation where I was doing in-store makeup demonstration. It wasn't a video. And it's funny how a lot of my YouTube content actually isn't sponsored because I go out and buy products or use products that are sent to me or something. So I don't get paid to make every single video that I do make. It's more collaborations with brands.
That's what a lot of people think as well. Is like, for example, you said your first paycheck wasn't actually a video. It was something that you did as a consequence of it.
There's business side of it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so in terms of making brand relationships, do you go out and say, hey, what's up, this is my name? Or do you go there with a concept? Like, how do you actually get to work with a brand? If they don't come to you, what is the protocol? Like, how does it work?
Well, when I started, I was under the impression that brands come to you. I mean, this conversation too. I thought when I reach a K subscribers, they're just gonna come around.
Life's gonna be good.
Yeah, that was my assumption because on Instagram, people
show you. Yeah.
Always made it seem like they came to them. Yo, shout out Nike. Oh my God, new Adidas. So I was like, okay, if I'm popping, they won't come. Then Steve was like, it's not how it is. So I've recently started to reach out, and which is something I'm terrible at. Like I'm terrible at networking and reaching out, and I've recently had to be like, okay, here you go. Like force myself to be that person because I'm so defensive of my channel. Because everything people say about my channel, that's wrong. I get very
You're an artist and you're sensitive about
I'm so sensitive. So I recently started like going on LinkedIn, reaching out. Like I started to think about brands that could work for my channel, and I reached out to like Vans and Samsung.
You said you went on LinkedIn and you went on looking for people.
Yeah,
that's a good way as well.
I sent them long messages and clips, and I put my rate card on the thing.
Yeah.
But then also I'm struggling to find out which brands work for my channel because my channel is such a strange channel. Like people watching like, what exactly are we gonna pitch here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what I'm trying to figure out right now, like how to make that work.
But in a way, that's a good space when you because you're actually concerned about it. You're not just like anyone and everyone.
Yeah.
You're thinking about alignment and you're thinking which brand will work for you. How does it work for you? Making the money.
So making the money or approaching brands?
Both.
So I make money for myself on YouTube. So I help consult creator channels and brand channels. So technically I make money by helping creators, but I charge like a very discounted price. But for my channels, we make through
because our channel was international, it was hard for us to get brand deals because the international people want you to go there. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to fly to LA for this meeting. And local channels, local brands want you to speak to local people. So our first big paychecks were actually from Patreon and then from joining a influencer website like Webfluential, which got us our first brand deals because they could speak to brands that were looking for people everywhere. But now, when I approach brands, I approach them with a concept in mind, because that's also why we won our brand deals on Webfluential, because we came to them with a full concept. It was not just going to be like, hey, we'll hold up your phone and we'll say your phone is awesome. It was like, okay, so we're going to make an entire show about your phone, and this is how it's going to work it in. Because if they don't know your channel, especially if you're approaching them, they don't know you. So you need to prove to them that you know them well enough and you know your audience well enough that you can know that they match.
And the value that you're going to give them as well.
Yeah, and then the thing is, I know a lot of people are scared that people will steal your ideas. And look, it happens. Like you could say, so my phone video is that I will film everything on my shoes, you know? That's the idea. And then 3 months later you see the brand doing that with somebody else.
Yeah.
It's not great, and you know, it's shitty of the brand, but the thing is, don't let that hold you back, because there's brands who do want your ideas to pay you for them. And by being like, well, I'm not going to give people ideas, they start to see you as suspect when you're like, I've got a good idea, but you know,
You have to sign me first.
sign me first.
Yeah. I mean, Webfluential, have you guys actually used it or anything else? Other platforms that help you get brand deals, or do you guys actually go get your brand deals by yourself?
Yeah, I used Webfluential, but I've only gotten one job. Well, I've had, you know, in the inquiry and stuff like that, but I've only had one job, which was with Samsung and Webfluential, and I don't really use it anymore because I feel like they never really align me with the brands that I would want to work with. I get a lot of opportunities where I'm like, not really. So then that just
It doesn't really pan out.
I started with Webfluential, and I got some jobs at, I'm not shutting the website down, but Webfluential looks at numbers, like you said, they don't look at you, they look at numbers, and a couple of paychecks after Webfluential that weren't from Webfluential, the money was so different, and I'm like, this is how much Webfluential says I should be getting paid. And my numbers aren't necessarily going up, but my engagement and my relevance was going up. And then the brand would want to pay me this much, but Webfluential was here.
So
and I'm like,
it's more like their formulas in terms of
exactly, they have
calculating
algorithms with numbers, but they don't look at, because in South Africa, you don't necessarily have to have 10,000 subscribers to have a lot of relevance in whatever industry.
And your engagement and all of those things, how many, like your watch time and all of those things and subscribers don't always correlate. Rate cards.
I just want to add, like, also on rate cards and everything you're saying. If you want to be a YouTuber who happens to make money, you need to be an entrepreneur by heart. You need to learn those business skills that no one tells you about, that a lot of people in the industry, not everyone like talks about it now, kind of thing. And you need to learn those skills. There's no YouTube tutorial to teach you how to make a rate card for YouTube, especially because the community. Well, except for your channel. But on approaching brands in South Africa, there is two ways. Either the brand is going to approach you with a campaign or brief, and then you get to take it back and dissect it and come up with a new idea that fits your audience and the brand's objectives, or you approach the brands. Most of my jobs have come from brands that have approached me, but it's only because I have built my network, and your net worth is as strong as your network. And if you're not doing that business side as well, then you're not going to get brands approaching you, and you're not going to get the possibilities to actually approach a brand with an idea. And it's just learning those skills. I'm not going to touch on Webfluential because I don't want any of them to be watching.
Thank you.
So So yeah, so there's a lot of different ways of approaching and getting brands to, but I think like you were saying, doing things for free, that's how you start. You need to start somewhere and get brands to notice you. Earlier I was talking about the most important and cool feeling is when someone in the industry comes to you and has recognized your work and recognizes you from the stuff you do. So that is important. And also, so it's important to be professional in the industry, because if someone messes up, then because the industry is so young, then that brand or corporate won't work with someone else.
Yes, correct.
And that is
We
has a ripple
affect each other
effect.
so much.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you're not professional about it, or you mess up or something, you need to be able to see the consequences you'll have, not only for yourself, but for the industry as well.
Yeah.
Correct.
You mentioned about, I don't know where you mentioned, but on one of your videos about charging too low affects other people.
Yeah, so all these things we do, like you just said, like everything everybody does sets a precedent for the rest of the industry. Because like the people who do earn money, there's like a select few of people who earn money, and so those people who get approached by brands, as soon as one brand gets a feel of, let's say Mhlali does something, and then Mhlali pisses off a brand, and then then the next time the brand works with anybody else, they always have this thing. If I work badly with the brand, then they think when they go to Menzi is just going to be like Cebu. Or if Cebu charges 10 Rand for a brand deal, then they go to Menzi is like, it's this much. They're like, but Cebu charge this much. Why are you being like this? So with charging brands, I found that it happens a lot where a brand will come to me and they'll like give me a number, and I'll be like, no, this is my number, especially because this is my job. Like this is, I don't do anything else. This is how much I am willing to get paid by a brand. And then I'll see the number and I'll be like, no, this is how much I charge. Maybe we can negotiate, but it starts here. And then they'll say, but we've worked with previous influencers
And so and
this
so.
is how much. And in my head, one, I'm upset that that's how much they gave an influencer, and second, I'm like, why did you take that money? Because it sets with, it's not just me, it sets it with everybody. Now when they go to Mhlali, Cebu was this much, there's no way you can be this much, or there's no way. And that's the thing, I feel like we have to be very
But at
careful.
the same time, like we just want to take what we can get and then under promise and over perform type of situation, because like you said, the industry is young. So we really just,
And you want to like impress the brand so that,
so that
you
they can
grow.
continue working
and I can
with us.
understand that, because you want that money. You're just like, here's 1,000 Rand. Okay, cool, I'm taking it. What do you want me to do? I'll do anything for you.
Yes.
And I understand that 100%. It's just sometimes I wish it didn't
Can I
happen.
please comment on that? I feel like it's wrong for brands to do that. Because at the end of the day, we individuals, we all have different amounts of influence.
Exactly.
So for example, if you're booking Beyonce for a gig, you can't be like, and then when you want to book Nicki and be like, no, but why are you charging? Okay, the other way around.
Yeah,
Why are you
yeah.
Why are you charging this amount when Beyonce charges this much? You know what I'm saying? It's completely different. So just, if you can't afford that person,
and they don't
That's Meg's biggest thing. It's like, if you don't have the money, don't come to me in the first place.
I think the worst part
like we only
is
have this much.
they don't actually treat us as entities. It feels like
The respect type of thing.
The respect is you need this.
Yeah.
Wait, but I'm sure you need this. So this is all we can. But I'm actually an entity, and this is my quote. Like you would if you were looking for a plumber, you'd have three different people, or use all of them for different things, and accept that that's the way the industry is. But unfortunately, we are in an unregulated market.
For some people, this is their bread and butter.
Correct.
You get
That's
paid
your
for
rent.
work.
This is
That's your rent.
all I do.
You get paid. So why
Somebody
not?
said that to me before, where they said, a brand said, we're doing you a favor.
No, you're not.
And I'm like, this is my job, this is how I pay rent.
This is
the
my
money that
groceries
you
are
pay me.
also good.
Exposure, but
Yeah,
it doesn't
no.
pay rent.
That's okay. I will like I used to be on the agency side.
Yeah.
I used to work for an agency, and the thing that I did was actually influencer management. And at the time, when did I do this? I started like 2011, 2010, 2012 then. And as people became more popular, like some of the most popular people today, I know I've completely lowballed them. But I was on agency side, knowing how much clients wanted to pay and knowing, okay, we've got 12,000 to give 3 people, but if I ask them like this, I can get 12 people for 1,000 each. That's literally how I used to. I've done that before.
I know brands do that.
And that's because on agency side, you're thinking to yourself, how do I get the most exposure for the least amount of money? But the thing is, we have to, as influencers, come together. For example, I gave you a formula. I was like, you use this formula. As you grow, you use this formula. But if we all had the same formula, they'd know that they'd calculated themselves. They'd see it
Yes, in fact,
and they'd
that
calculated
formula
themselves.
works for every because it's based on our following. But I also do think they should consider our engagement as well. They should
Exactly.
consider everything else around
Yeah.
it. And the fact that we are too a brand. And
Exactly.
you become expensive the more work you do, number one, and the more engagement and audience that you actually gain. Authentic, genuine audience.
Exactly.
The problem is and this comes from, so I've been on like every side. I used to work as a marketing manager. It's like trying to measure, it's how long is a piece of string.
Yeah.
So I mean, for our gaming channel to get onto Webfluential, I actually had to mail Webfluential because we had no social media followings other than YouTube. And I mailed them and I'm like, we have 5,000 viewers on YouTube, but you're telling me we can't join your platform because we only have 100 followers on Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm like, in our space, the Twitter doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean it does, but you know, for this argument. Because also the thing is, and this is also why sometimes people are like, oh, how can this person be making money full time on YouTube? They've only got 500 subs.
People say that.
And
all
then
the
this
time.
one has like 1 million subs and they're not doing it full time. It's, some audiences are happy to give you money. You can have 100 people watching your video and each of them could give you $10.
Yeah.
And then you can live. And other people have like 10 million viewers and only 10 people give them $1. So it's how do you measure that?
Yeah.
Because also how do you measure what that audience is worth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Which is a huge, that is the biggest part of it, is the value of the eyes, the set of eyes that is watching your content. You can't always gauge that. I mean, you can try, but it's really accurate.
Yeah, I got a lot of flack when I was starting to do YouTube full time from people going, how is Sibu doing YouTube full time with 4,000 subscribers when there's people with 30,000 subscribers who can't get any? How is Sibu getting brand deals?
Yeah.
And that's the thing, I had a call with a friend of mine who's like big in the industry, not YouTube necessarily, and I was speaking to him about a certain rate I wanted for a client, and he was like, do you know that there are people who've been working for 20 years who don't get paid that much?
But it's not
and
your
that's
fault
because they
as
don't.
well.
No. He's saying it as a good thing. Like
Yeah.
there's people who like lowball themselves because of what they think of other people, and I'm like, unfortunately, I have bigger rate cards than people who have more numbers than me.
Yes, yes.
People who have 50,000 Instagram followers, 100,000 Twitter followers. Exactly,
Yeah.
that's the thing. And I'm like, I'm not gonna go. I don't go by my numbers. I'll tell you that right now. I don't go by my numbers. There's people who have higher numbers who are like, how can you make brands pay that much? But they'll pay because they know. Like who I am and what demographic I also have. Because the young black 20 somethings, that's a lot of the brands. That's what they want. And I've got that audience. So it's also understanding. Like it's understanding who you are basically and your target market.
You can create a conversation.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
really
Yeah.
like ours was as well with the gaming channel. We can charge more because our demographic is international, white guys with very high disposable incomes,
Yeah.
and brands want that.
Yeah.
So, and also because it was so niche, any product in that niche had to pay us a lot of money because who
They
else
also
is
higher
going to pay your
priced.
Exactly.
Sibu's not going to be selling Dungeons and Dragons.
No.
I would love to see that. Though.
Well, if you want to do that,
I love
I'd love
watching
to-
D&D, but I can't play D&D.
Yeah.
But so I mean, I could never sell. I love Nyx. I would not sell one thing of Nyx. Not because the product's bad, but because that's not what my audience comes to me for.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, correct.
I think also the other way to look at it is when you approach brands in your niche, I would say charge them. So let's say you charge everyone. Obviously, this is not a real number, but you charge everyone £5, right? As soon as you go into your own niche, you must charge £10 because those people
I'm over it.
are, if you're doing a beauty brand,
Yeah.
if you're selling something that is so in your niche, you must up your rate.
Also how big the brand is. I do that all the if I'm working, like let's say if I'm working for Menzi as a clothing brand and he's like, I need this, then I'll be like, okay, this is how much it is, because I know you don't have thousands and thousands. But if I'm working for Apple, who doesn't work with anyone, but if I'm working with Apple, I'm not gonna be like, it's the same as mine.
No.
I know how much money you have. I know how much money you have.
You look at their product and you're like, your product, your lowest product is going to be 10,000 rand.
Exactly.
So I can't be charging you the
No.
set of eyes. If one person from our audience buys, you get 10,000 rand.
Exactly.
So that
So
you have to,
as much as it's fixed, you must be always brought up about how you can. And at the same time, with your rate card, because our numbers change so often, when you send somebody a rate card, my rate card says valid for 15 days only.
Yeah.
So if you if you come back to me
And
in
it
15
changed
days,
my
how long
level.
it was 30 days.
Well, this year, depending on how rapid the change has been,
Your
but this
changes
year
are
I've
big.
changed it like 5
No, I
times.
don't have a set rate card.
Mm.
You tell me what you want, I'll send you a quotation.
Yeah, yeah.
Because then they're gonna approach you in 3 months and they're like, we want you to do another campaign.
Based
and
on
it's
the
like,
old rate
but
card.
last time you charged us this
That's
much."
why 15 days.
Yeah, but last time they approached you, you had 40,000, now you're 50,000.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you say they're no longer valid anymore. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
based on this current. It's based on
Today.
this
Yeah.
quote.
This specific
This quote that you gave me.
This campaign is less
Yes.
demanding than the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
it's different.
Plus the
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
I had a brand approach me, a US brand, fantastic. I would love to work with them, but they don't want to pay anything because they believe they're a premium hair brand and they've worked with influencers in the UK and the US.
So it's good
But
for you
honey,
to work with
you want
them.
to tap into SA, right? For free. Now, okay, I was like, okay, let me listen to you. I get a guideline and it includes doing everything before filming. So I've got a
Instagram.
I can't even. No, the work. Just
Oh,
before
oh.
filming. Fixing the hair, film that, and then using specific products to fix the hair.
Yes.
Thereafter, hang it, let it air dry.
They want you to show
film all of
everything.
those things, and then show how I put it on, and then do a specific style on that. So I was just like, but that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Plus, film it, and then mention the ad notes. Obviously, what's the benefit of
And then are they gonna tell you that we want this and we don't want this afterwards?
Zero. And I'm like,
Look,
but
for-
at least
look,
pay for the work that goes into it.
I've said no to a brand because they were going to stifle the process too much. And for me, I would give up the cash and still do it for free. If I like your brand,
That's
if
the
I
thing.
like your brand,
Like
I'll
it,
do it for
yeah.
free and be like, nah, guys, I can't do this.
No.
I'll still talk about your brand though because I actually like it. But
Yes.
if you're going to just no.
Strangle us.
Not
for the
that.
sake of money.
But
Okay,
sorry,
so-
in the same breath of free and that is also part of it. It is like if you know you're gonna always work with that hair care brand, it's okay for you to say to them, hey guys, listen, I know you're approaching me for this campaign. I'd love to do it for you. This is what it's gonna cost. But I love your brand. I'd love to be part of your brand. I will give you 5 videos for this much.
In fact, that's
Yeah.
what I said when I got back to them, and then I asked them, how does it benefit my subscribers? Because I had to look outside. Like, if they do buy, can they actually get some sort of discount? And
You know, at least.
No.
Yeah, so okay,
For free.
so basically this
Sure.
relationship about making money and brand relationships, you have to look at your current state as a YouTuber and the brand that you're working with and always be willing to change.
Yeah.
Like we said, sometimes you can say, okay, I'm willing to forego the payment if we do this, but always be looking at it's not just you, it's you, your subscribers, and the relationship that you
Correct.
have with the brand.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
All right.
Sorry, just lost it. I think people forget this a lot. And it's basically what you two just said. If the brand is good enough, sometimes the way people perceive the brands you work with is also
It's the
another
way-
big
Yeah.
thing.
yes,
Like
that's
you can work cheaper for a brand, but I know that when my audience sees that I'm working for that brand, they're gonna be like,
And other brands.
And
Yes.
yeah, exactly. And
Other
it's
brands,
like,
yes,
yo,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
exactly.
Especially if you like,
So that's
yeah.
also just something to
But
keep
then
in
don't
mind.
take advantage at the same
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
because you are there as
Yeah,
a brand. You
yeah.
know?
I'd really love to talk about ways that, unfortunately, it's true, but because the industry is so young in South Africa, brands do take advantage of us, unfortunately. But we have to move on and wrap this up, guys. Last part: social media and brand building. All right. What I found.